This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Tuesday. FREAKIN, I'm honored that you think that my intro is sweet ass. I will say that today, I took something out from the vault and put it up on the Patreon. From my radio career back in 2007 or 2006. And boy, did I suck back then. Oh, did I cringe on that one. But I greatly appreciate that. Also, the surfs are fucking awesome. Lance and, I always forget the other guy's name. This is mainly Lance. It's on the Twitch channel. At least whenever I pop on. But they do amazing YouTube content. I love their stuff. Dave, yes. Thank you. Big fan of the surfs. I follow them. I'm pretty sure I host them on my channel. That's it. Yeah, Lance is always on there whenever I pop on. It's Dave is on the like YouTube skits they do. Yeah, I've never seen him on the stream. Not once. Oh, speaking of streams. Oh, you want to do the countdown again? It is a really cool video. I like this countdown. I'm probably sticking with this one for a while. I tinkered with the old one a few different times, but I really like this. Especially my birthday bash is coming up. I got to get that plug in. If all goes well, I will be on a different planet this weekend. I might have to fire up that video and watch it a few times. If I'm able to pull off not being on this planet this weekend, if you know what I'm go on a little trip. Oh, fuck, what was the name of the channel I was on earlier? Echoplex is hosting my birthday. That's why Echoplex is hyping it. Oh, Greed, you got your wish within minutes of being on stream. Here comes Smokey. Echoplex is actually going to be running the show on my birthday. This coming Thursday, I'm going to hand the reins on. I've already done it. They've already logged into my account. They've got everything set up, ready to go. Apparently, Dave has produced new graphics specifically for using. I gave him all my stuff. And he's produced new graphics specifically for this Thursday show. It's going to be the Media Winch, producer Dave. They're going to be playing. Dave sent me the list of videos. I'm not going to look at it. I like going in completely cold. If you've never watched Echoplex's channel, they specialize in the weird and the conspiracy, down the rabbit hole, if you will. So a lot of the times I appear on their channel and I'm like, what are these people talking about? So I'm sure I'm going to do the what thing multiple times with videos that they show me on Thursday. That's going to be a lot of fun. But they're taking over the show just because, like, on Thursday I'm not going to have to do anything. I do a lot of prep for this show. So on Thursday, I'm just going to sit down here with a beer and a bong, and we're going to have fun. Yay! Can't wait for Thursday. And this is the first time ever I've revealed my birthday, other than my small group of friends. Greed can tell you, if you're with me on my birthday, I'm going to run it into the ground that it's my birthday and that you should do what I want. Other than that, I don't publicize it because I don't like people. The whole social media, everybody telling you happy birthday, it's kind of trite to me. But like this year, I'm gonna shill it, and I'm gonna try to get subscribers to the channel down below. I'm gonna try to get super chats on the YouTube. I'm gonna shill my ass off for my birthday this coming Thursday. Saran wrap my keyboard. I'm gonna just push my keyboard under, and it won't even be around. I won't have to use it because producer Dave is producing me. I've been in the broadcasting business for 20 years. Bree Creed will tell you this. Everything I've ever done, every show I've ever done, every production I've ever put together, I've been the technical whiz behind the scenes. I've been the one doing all the tech work to pull it off. I've never had a producer. The engineer at my college said that I was doing my show wrong. The Friday Night Freak Show was the name of my show while I was in college. The first semester, it was 8 to midnight on Friday nights. I took a job at a strip club, so I had to change the time. When we came back the next semester, the whole promo was the Freak Show is gonna 6 to 9 you. Money runs it all. I don't give a shit about money. Everybody knows this. And I'm only shilling. I want your likes more than anything. Like me, share me out. I don't give a shit if you subscribe to my Patreon or if you fucking sub to the Twitch channel. It's cool if you do, but like if you ain't got the money, I don't care. I'll give you my content for free if you want to see the shit I put up on Patreon. I don't care. I don't care about money. I want your likes and your follows, because what I really want, this is bait. Dude came in last night, that Aaron guy, and he didn't really like, because I kind of derail the show and argue with people in the chat because like I'm troll bait. I'm just reading the news until right-wingers come along and try to argue with me. That's what I really want. So if you guys help me get bigger, more right-wingers will show up and we'll get to argue. It'll be, hilarity will ensue. Oh my God, Maddie B. Yeah, if you guys did not join us for that fucking conversation, Matty B was a professional wrestler from Eastern Kentucky. I saw him call Joe Biden Pedo Joe. While Matty B called in here on this show, I asked him if he'd ever been to jail, and he really avoided the question, which totally gave everything away. After I got off the show, I found out Matty B had been arrested for child rape. Called Joe Biden Pedo Joe. I'm not kidding you. Now, statutory rape now wasn't a forceful rape of a child, but still, rape is rape is rape. Old Gord was hilarious. I don't know if Old Gord would be available because Old Gord was at the Capitol on January the 6th. Old Gord might be in a jail cell somewhere. I have not checked in on him as of late. So I don't know if we'd be able to pull him out. And apparently, Hoop Boy was like launching an attack on somebody. I don't know if this was that recent. It might have been in the last couple of months. All right, this is pictures from Minneapolis just moments ago. I don't know what the exact time was. It was like an hour ago or something. The exact moment that George Floyd was murdered this time last year. And now I hear Smokey again. Yeah, but he's being needy. Oh. He's so cute. It also makes it hard to do my job here, buddy. Now, this morning, there was some commotion going on at George Floyd Square, where the Cup Foods is. I believe we're going to see a live shot from ABC.
Expecting both there in Minneapolis and across the country.
Well, Diane, I think one real powerful moment is you mentioned certainly the Floyd family meeting privately with President Biden. Well, right around that time or immediately after, the governor here, Governor Walz, has signed a proclamation urging residents in Minnesota and Minneapolis to observe 9 minutes and 29 seconds of silence, representing the 9 minutes and 29 seconds that Derek Chauvin knelt on George Floyd's neck. But hold on.
That was gunshots in the live shot. They're rolling B-roll right now. That's why you're not seeing people ducking and shit.
All right, we're going to check in with Alex in a bit.
So yeah, they had already cut away to what they call B-roll, like the package Because, like, he's reading off of a script at that point. Like, he does a little intro that he's kind of got, knows what he's doing, and then he does the script because he's got the details. They roll the B-roll while that's going on. So the shots rang out while the B-roll was rolling. Wild. I saw a report earlier, I've not followed up on this, that someone actually went to the hospital with a gunshot wound later that was non-life threatening. See, this is from TMZ. I'm not sure if they would have an update. Law enforcement tells TMZ Minneapolis PD responded to a report of shots fired around 10:09 a.m. and witnesses claim they saw a suspect fleeing the scene in a vehicle going at a high rate of speed. We're told a short time later someone showed up at a local hospital with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. AP reporter Philip Crowther was also on the scene and says he heard a few dozen gunshots. So today was supposed to be a solemn memorial to mark the day. So gunshots were a stark reminder of the work that still needs to be done. That's TMZ's words, not mine. But well put. The family of George Floyd was at the White House earlier. His brother, and I think Ben Crump also spoke.
I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Chris Stewart, Attorney Tony Romanucci, and
this was after the meeting with Joe Biden inside the White House. Now, I do want to point out that Joe Biden promised action or movement on criminal reform by the anniversary of George Floyd's death. We did not get that. That's pretty much stalled out. We're going to talk about the gridlock in the Senate here in just a little bit.
Attorney Justin Miller, and also National Bar President C.K. Hoffler. We have present with us here the family of George Floyd and some of their dear friends. We have Rodney Floyd, we have Philonis Floyd, we have Terrence Floyd, we have Brandon Williams. Obviously, we have this little angel.
We got Floyd.
Her mother, Roxy, is here with Gianni. We have Dominique and William, who are close personal friends as well, present here. Briefly, the brothers will address you. The president and the vice president met with the family for over an hour, and they're going to tell you some things that happened in that meeting. I know the president was.
So this was just about 4 hours ago.
Personal, because he got to know this family over the years, and he wanted to check on them on today of all days to see how they were doing, to reiterate that they are still doing everything to make sure that his legacy is respected, and that involves us going to meet with senators in just a few moments to continue to press forward for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that he says he is ready to sign.
That Biden has already defanged.
He doesn't want to sign a bill that doesn't have substance and meaning, so he is going to be patient.
Apparently qualified immunity is a huge hang-up.
Also,
of course, the police unions are going to be fighting to keep qualified immunity,
to meet with the civil rights leaders,
which shields officers from being sued in civil court.
For decades, like
only in very narrow instances,
and the National Urban League and many others. So with
that courts have already ruled that you can sue an officer. Can you actually sue an officer?
How y'all doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
A snazzy suit, my friend.
We met with the president and the VP. It was just for the remembrance of what happened to my brother, because this was his day that he was murdered. It was great. He's a genuine guy. They always speak from the heart, and it's a pleasure just to be able to have the chance to meet with him when we have that opportunity too. We're just thankful for what's going on, and we just want this George Floyd Policing Act to be passed in the future.
I want it to be passed immediately, but I also want to make sure that it
because this
addresses the issues.
If you can make federal laws to protect the bird, which is the bald eagle, you can make federal laws to protect people of color.
Oh, yeah.
What about the fact that you don't have...
Now we will have his brother Rodney Floyd. Very brief.
How you guys doing? Today is about the remembrance of our brother George Floyd, father, uncle, friend, cousin.
Also a snazzy man. Snazzy
Mr.
dressed
President,
man. I don't want to leave him
gave us
out.
their condolences, just keeping up, touching back on what happened.
I was
last year, reiterating
partial to that
everything.
other suit.
They asked us how we were doing. Are we taking care of ourselves, healthy counseling, and they asked us all about how we feeling and what's going on about today about our brother. And we thankful that they showed great concern. And you guys.
Mr. Floyd, did President Biden offer any reassurance that he would personally make sure?
Now you will hear from Terrence Floyd.
The reporters are really getting anxious, aren't they?
Maybe.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
What up, Terrence?
You know, being here today is an honor, you know, to meet with the president and the vice president and for them to show their concern to our family and for them to actually give an ear to our concerns and how we feel on the situation. And I feel it was a very productive conversation, and I'm grateful for it. I thank everybody for the love. Thank you.
And now you will hear from Brandon Williams, the nephew of George Floyd, who was like a son to him.
How are y'all doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm great.
I'm fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
A very great meeting. We're very appreciative and
I
grateful.
wish we could have been brought together under different circumstances, Brandon.
I think that the meeting went well. He showed concern, and I think genuinely he wanted to know exactly how we were doing and what he could do to support us, and he did.
I think that's telling that they've all mentioned like how
to make sure that it's the right bill.
concerned Biden was. I mean, that's
he also said
by
that,
all accounts.
he said that
The man is incredibly personable. Even when the cameras aren't on, he loves to just chew the fat with people and really get to know you on a personal. That makes a good politician. Because even politicians that I've met that I don't like I see why they're politicians. Like, you got that charm. Because a good politician will talk to you and make you feel like you're the only person in the room. Now they may absolutely be a sociopath. I want to give it that caveat. Most politicians are, or at least a shade of sociopathic. But they have a charm that is undeniable.
Happy about it not
being the good ones do.
But all in all, he just wants the bill to be right and meaningful, and that it holds George's legacy intact. Thank you.
Welcome, Tones.
You'll hear from my co-counsels. It's always a team effort, and we have a great team that's standing.
All right, so this is the legal team. Maybe they're actually going to allow the press to ask questions.
On behalf of Roxy, little baby Will, Justin, my law partner, the president actually interacted and played with Gianna. She had an absolute ball.
You want to bring Kyle Rittenhouse back? You're just saying that because you did his voice.
Like she's still smiling. So if everybody can just come together, Democrat, Republican, and pass the bill. If you care about policing and the people, it'll get passed.
Thank you. Now we will hear from Attorney Tony Romanucci.
Oh yeah, you did poop, boy. I'm sorry. You are Media Winch played the part of Kyle Rittenhouse. Perhaps Kyle Rittenhouse will make a return when we come up on his trial in November. Now, just like with the Derek Chauvin trial, I'll probably not carry the whole thing, but we'll definitely do like closing arguments and the verdict. For sure.
Great co-counsel.
Good day, everybody. Nice to see you all. I think what's important about today, commemorating the 1-year date of George Floyd's death, is that we need this bill passed. Here's why we need it passed. We need to protect lives.
Don't tell us. You were just in there with Biden.
We need people saved on the streets.
And you're getting ready to go meet with the Senate. And that's really who you need to talk to.
Shot by police. That's what's so important about this day. That's why I'm so proud to be standing with the Floyd family today, being a representative and fighting for this bill to make sure it is meaningful and substantial. Thank you all.
Now we will hear briefly from Attorney Justin Miller.
This is all pleasantries and shit. Like, I wanted to hear about like your push to end qualified immunity. Speaking of people who once upon a time had immunity, not so qualified anymore. The Department of Justice has moved to block the full memo on the Trump obstruction decision from release. Now, this is the only good news Trump has received in the last couple of days. By the way, I don't even think I mentioned Trump on the show last night. Oh, I probably did when I was yelling at fucking Aaron. The Justice Department released a portion of an internal memo cited by former leaders as part of their decision, concluding that former President Donald Trump did not obstruct justice, but in a court filing late Monday said it would seek to block the full document from release. So this is the Biden Justice Department blocking the Barr memo about how they came to the conclusion for Barr's little press conference before the actual release of the Mueller report. The move is certain to, I do not want a birthday cameo from anybody. The cameos are, I'm not with it. Now, I don't clip this and then like fucking a year or two from now, like I'm doing cameos and telling people happy birthday and fucking hold it against me. Like fucking everybody got to make a living somehow. No, if I was ever on Cameo, it would only be like if I could run you down. If like I will be on Cameo if you will let me call you a dumb fuck and troll the shit out of you. That I might actually consider. I would assume that's what Jim Cornette does on Cameo. He cuts promos on people. I don't know, like I haven't watched any of them. I would hope. So the move is certain to disappoint watchdog groups and the Biden administration allies in Congress who have called for transparency about the alleged wrongdoing in the Trump years. And account it. Now, remember, we're talking about the Mueller report. This is the Russia investigation. I got called a Russia hoax believer or whatever the fuck last night. I don't know what people say when they say Russia hoax or Russiagate. Sagar and Jetty on the Hill is very bad about it. Russiagate proved wrong. I'm like, what the fuck are you calling Russiagate? Like, there was an investigation. It found things. It issued a report. The report is incredibly damning to Trump. Democratic Senators Dick Durbin and Sheldon Whitehouse recently wrote to Attorney General Merrick Garland, who I praised the other day. I'm taking my praise back. I do not like this decision. And it really seems, now Biden has said he's going to be hands off when it comes to the Justice Department, but I mean, like a wink and a nod, fucking Merrick Garland knows what his marching orders are. This is clearly part of the Biden agenda. To move on, move forward, not mention the other guy. There's no circle back, like Jen Psaki might say. And that is something that blows my mind. That was like one of the first press conferences she gave. Like, we'll circle back to that. She said, like, just a flippant, I don't even know what she said it in reference to. They call her Circle Back Girl. That's their name. They've got like Gwen Stefani memes about it. I don't understand why that's like a owning the lib kind of thing. It's weird. Right-wingers are so fucking weird. The lawsuit filed by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW, is one of the first public tests of how the new Justice Department leaders will handle questionable activity by their predecessors. And so far, they have failed. During the presidential campaign, then candidate Joe Biden had an uneasy reaction to the idea of a federal case against Trump. Now, I understand the idea, especially Biden. And I'm sure Biden knows history well about the precedent that it says to come in and start prosecuting your political opponents. That's something fucking dictators do. And I understand the need to not, and that's one of the reasons why Obama didn't want to prosecute anybody in the Bush administration. But letting these fuckers get away with this bullshit for as long as we have is the reason why they keep doing the bullshit. And if right-wingers want to say, well, what about Bill Clinton? Well, what about him? Let's put him on trial too. I don't give a shit. Take every fucking president other than Carter is a war criminal. Carter's probably got something we can pin on him, but I know he fucking never fired a shot in another country. And all the living presidents over to The Hague. I don't give a shit, including Biden. Law professor Jennifer Taub recently wrote that federal prosecutors need to return to an era of punishing white-collar criminals and that the effort should begin with Trump. Hey, Jennifer, I'm totally with you. The current controversy arose in a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed by Crew, which sought a memo prepared by the Trump Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel. The memo purportedly analyzes evidence about Trump's actions during the investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller under the federal obstruction of justice statutes. U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson accused the Justice Department of mischaracterizing the document and being disingenuous with the court about its purpose and substance. This is a judge accusing the Biden Justice Department about being disingenuous with the court about its purpose and substance. Trump's critics, including former government ethics chief Walter Schwab, seized on the blistering decision. In a court ruling this month, the judge added that the previous DOJ management team may have misled her about exactly when former Attorney General William Barr had decided not to charge Trump. The judge gave the new leaders at the Justice Department 2 weeks to decide whether to appeal. They have decided to appeal. The Justice, so I might have misspoke there, that it was the Trump Justice Department that she characterized as being disingenuous. But it is the Biden Justice Department that is appealing the ruling to release the memo. The Justice Department asked for and received another week to make up its mind. In the end, Justice Department lawyers told the judge they would appeal and seek to block the publication of the full memo. The new DOJ brief said fuzzy wording in its own prior legal filings led the judge to draw inaccurate conclusions about how Barr came to decide not to charge Trump. Government lawyers argued the bulk of the memo should be shielded from the public under the theory that it protects deliberations by the Justice Department about whether facts in the Mueller probe met the high bar for a legal violation by Trump. No, that is exactly what I want to see. I want to see those deliberations. Because I'm assuming they're non-existent. It's more of making excuses. Matter of fact, I'd put good money that there's no deliberation about whether to charge Trump in that memo. Government lawyers argued, I'm sorry, we already read that. As for the judge's concern that the Justice Department misled her, the new document said it came down to a misunderstanding. In fact, it said the memo put in writing advice Barr had received, but that the document itself wasn't finalized until about 2 hours before Barr notified Congress. Justice Department explained the process in a way that could resonate with Jackson and could nod to Garland's long tenure on the federal bench as well. Process is not dissimilar to that of a judge who reaches a preliminary conclusion about how to rule in a given case and tasks a law clerk to write an opinion supporting that conclusion. The law clerk's draft remains pre-decisional because the judge, after reading the analysis, can still be persuaded or dissuaded by the analysis to reach a different conclusion. Totally understandable. I get that rationale, and in any other instance, I buy it. But this is the Trump Justice Department. There were no deliberations, and we need to know that. I think Barr is guilty of obstruction of justice. Now, breaking news in the last couple of hours. The Washington Post is reporting that Manhattan DA has convened a grand jury to consider potential charges in the Trump Organization probe.
What is a grand jury being convened in New York right now? Tell us about the progress of this investigation into the former president of the United States.
Well, as Paula just described, I think it does certainly represent a significant new step in the Manhattan DA's investigation. And with respect to their investigation, we know that it probably doesn't just involve the president. Their investigation pertains to conduct that took place by the Trump organization.
Now, this would be the tax
presidency
fraud.
So pertains to financial crimes, as Paula described, and other matters that had to do with the Trump
devaluing and
itself.
overvaluing
so
their
could
assets.
Implicate the former president
for bank
but
fraud.
Also could implicate individuals who are part of that company, were part of the leadership and management of the company, as well as the entity itself.
Given the fact that this grand jury is now convened, how soon potentially could we know whether or not the former president would face charges?
As soon as within the month.
The prosecutors aren't going to bring a case unless the grand jury returns indictments. And at this stage, I think it's too soon for us to know what type of information they are presenting. From the Washington Post report that just came out, it sounds like the grand jury is just being impaneled. It's a 6-month grand jury that's going to cover other matters
6 months.
Well.
So
I don't think we should expect anything imminent. I will say this information about the grand jury, as well as information more recently that came from the New York Attorney General regarding her criminal investigation, it does sound like drips and drabs are coming out of this investigation. And really, normally what we would expect from prosecutors is that the time that we hear from them is when they have a charging document.
The former president, as you know, Carrie, also facing some other legal issues.
I think we're closer.
Defending his role in the January 6th
than what the
insurrection,
actual
for example. In response
proceedings
to
would
that
indicate.
Lawsuit, we just heard from Paula. The former president claims his fiery speech from that day is protected under the First Amendment, and he had, in his words, he had absolute immunity as president to contest the election. What do you think of that argument?
That's bullshit.
I think the absolute immunity argument is probably the weaker of the two arguments. So
that was a polite way of saying bullshit.
To demonstrate that somebody has caused imminent violence or the riot that took place after his speech. The absolute immunity, I think, is weaker, number one, because that is a very, very broad assertion of presidential authority. And there are usually more specific types of presidential authority that are asserted. So executive privilege, or sometimes a president will assert attorney-client privilege. Absolute immunity is extraordinarily broad, as well as the fact that when the president was speaking on January 6th, he really was speaking as a candidate. He was speaking as someone who was challenging the election as candidate Trump. It really wasn't a presidential action that he was engaged in. He was president. I would even
making the argument that he was president. I think that puts more of a burden on him and takes away his First Amendment protections. He's the fucking president. He's not a citizen.
Is the weaker one.
Legally speaking, Carrie, is there such a thing as absolute immunity for the president?
But I will say that courts always side on the side of speech. When there's a close call, they're always going to side on the side of free speech. Corporation involved.
It is not something that is a recognized immunity. It's something that the Trump organization has argued. They argued it in his impeachment as well. But as I mentioned, usually presidential immunities are asserted regarding a specific thing. In other words, regarding testimony, regarding conversations with advisors.
Yeah, throughout the entire Trump presidency, he's just like a blanket immunity.
Legal advisors. It usually pertains.
That's the reason why Barr was hired. The unitary executive
It's usually not something
theory
that
is what Barr espoused.
Just a broad, the president can do anything.
It's insane.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, no. We're going to get to her here in a little bit. Not yet. We got somebody a little more interesting to talk about.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes. A new court filing inadvertently revealed that federal prosecutors have historical and prospective sell-side information related to Rudy Giuliani. So apparently they did a shitty job of redacting the documents. A court filing on Tuesday inadvertently revealed more details about the federal criminal investigation into former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, including that investigators had obtained historical and prospective cell site information connected to Giuliani. The document was a letter written by Joseph Bondy, a lawyer representing the Soviet-born businessman Lev Parnas, and his associate Igor Foreman were indicted in late 2019 on several felony counts related to their work with Giuliani. Bondy's letter, dated May 20th and addressed to U.S. District Judge Paul Oetken, said the government informed Parnas for the first time on May 14th that beginning in November of 2019, it had applied for and obtained a number of other search warrants, and the returns on these warrants, which were yet to be produced in any form, all related to accounts and devices not belonging to the defendants. I think it's more, you got that backwards, sir. I think, first of all, Giuliani had evidence planted on him by the Ukrainians, almost certainly. Because he's a dumb fuck. It is everything that he accused Hunter of, he was actually engaged in. I mean, Jesus Christ, you come on this stream and say that? He was caught with his goddamn hand down his pants with a girl that he thought was underage. Because I wanted to make that clear, like when we did this story, I'm like, well, did he know, like, that she was of age? No, he was aware that she was underage. The reality that I live in, you mean reality? That's literally where I live, reality. People get arrested for that in Arkansas. Normal people get arrested for that shit all the fucking time. You don't have connections to the president. By the way, the phone lines are open. 917-830-4359. I am live, completely unedited. Earlier today, I was actually in somebody else's chat, a right-wing group. I need to go find them. Like, supposedly they're on right now. So pull them. Like, I wasn't even saying anything that you could consider trollish. I was making legitimate points. But just as soon as I said one negative thing about Trump, and I framed it from a right-wing libertarian freedom perspective about why I didn't like Trump, they shut me down immediately. That is how strong the cult is. Fucking right-wingers are morons. But she wasn't a reporter in the movie. She was a YouTuber. She was a young girl that was a YouTuber, and her story was well known. I absolutely voted for Joe Biden. I am an independent. I've always been an independent. Fuck, Joe Biden is the first time I voted for a Democrat in well over a decade. In a national race, mind you. Right-wingers are that fucking far gone that I sucked it up and voted for a Democrat. And are so fucking horrible, I wish I could go back to 2016 and vote for Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, was I ever wrong on that one. Hey, if you want to argue, 917-830-4359. Yeah, she was a YouTuber. Like, she had become famous on the right-wing YouTube on the conspiracy shit. I think that happened naturally too. Let's see if we can find the YouTube channel I was in earlier that got really upset with me. Because if they are on right now, I got their phone number, but they took the phone lines down about the time I came in. I don't remember the name of the channel. The Patriot Party News. Patriot Party News is the channel we are going to here. I was in there earlier. They shut me down. They are indeed live right now. Fuck yeah. Let's do a little trolling, guys. If you would like to join me, Patriot Party News, on YouTube and Twitch, they're using Restream. Let's see if we can call in, if they've got the phone lines open.
Yeah, they use different tactics, especially with mainstream media.
Actually, with mainstream media, he really is the character that I did on April Fool's.
State judge, okay, on Friday ordered Fulton County to allow a group of local voters. Listen to this: local voters.
I'm gonna call the phone number. I have his phone number. I went back and looked at like an old video. You get it? It's probably disconnected right now.
Mail-in votes cast in the 2020 election.
Thank you for calling. To speak to a representative, please press 0.
Yeah. Alleging that officials accepted thousands of counterfeit.
Speak to a representative, please press 0.
Now, the decision marks the latest instance of a local government being forced to undergo a third.
Yeah, I voted for him.
Inspection of its.
That is how fucking batshit the right wing is. I voted for him.
Excuse me.
Absolutely better. Like, fucking, you're like, was I supposed to vote for the child rapist that wanted to end democracy? What the fuck? No. I voted to empower Rashida Tlaib, Katie Porter, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib.
That's out there. That's not a patriot.
Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Cory Bush. I voted to empower them.
All the different patriots out there.
I voted to make sure that Bernie Sanders
and most people on the
was
left,
the Senate Budget Committee chairman.
From my experience, have been very book smart. You know, I know lots of really good people that, for whatever reason,
I don't know what that means. Well, Joe Biden's less racist. I don't think Joe Biden is racist per se. Has Joe Biden supported racist policies throughout the years? Sure.
You know, I'm serious in terms of,
I mean, but times have changed. But when you're talking about racist policies, like, I could never, ever, ever vote for a Republican because Republicans believe this. So if you want to talk about racism, this was Ronald Reagan's chief campaign strategist, Lee Atwater. He literally shaped the Republican Party as we know it today. It is honest to God in his image. And he is going to tell you straight up that the Republicans are racist. They appeal to racists. $1981.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist, or no, as a psychologist, which I'm not, is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words, you start out, and now y'all aren't quoting me on this. All right, I won't hear it. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts your backfire. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract.
Forced busing. The conservative policy that Joe Biden signed on to. My problem with Joe Biden was totally that he was too much of a Republican. My problem with Joe Biden is that he's too much of a Republican. So what was I supposed to do? Vote for the Republicans?
Right now, you're talking about cutting taxes and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And
the byproduct of our policy is that blacks get hurt worse than whites, so that we can still appeal to the racists. That's the reason why the Republican Party is the way it is today, so that they can appeal to the racists. Literally what Ronald Reagan's campaign strategist said from his own mouth.
But I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want.
Joe Biden is he is a fucking conservative politician. That is hands down. That is without question. I don't understand why that's a dispute. Here is the political compass test. If you can notice that Joe Biden is right here on the far right. Here on the far right. Joe Biden is on the right. Just like all the rest of the Democrats are on the right. Here is Trump, Kasich, Corker, Pence, Hogan, all on the far, far right. Up here high in the authoritarian column. See, that's my thing, is I believe in fucking freedom. I believe in fucking freedom. No. Fucking Joe Biden is fucking nowhere near close to a politician that I approve of. But he's far better than the alternative. There's no question about it. The Republicans are just racist ass fucking morons. And there's no other viable party. Believe me, I voted Libertarian for years. Libertarians are right-wing morons, but because I think that the two-party system is one of the most pressing issues with our political system, I voted Libertarian because Libertarian was the strongest third party in all the states I've lived in. Had I lived in New York, I probably would have voted DSA. Or if I was in fucking Nevada, if I was in California, I might have voted Green. I'll never again. And that's one of the things is right-wingers love to talk about how Trump is a response to left-wing woke, cancel cult, whatever the fuck, Marxism, whatever the fuck that shit means. I'm telling you that me as an independent, you fucking turn me completely Democrat. I'll probably never not vote for a Democrat the rest of my life because you people are that fucking batshit. And I mean, it's easy to see. Every fucking Republican in my lifetime has wrecked the economy and presided over record debt. Both of the Democrats, not counting the current administration, both of the Democrats cut the deficit, presided over record GDP growth. One of them is the only politician in a century to balance the budget. Now, before you even got on here, I made a whole fucking case for why both of those motherfuckers need to be in jail. But objectively, they have been better for me economically, policy-wise. Democrats are better for me policy-wise. Hands down, it is like a statistical fact by whatever metric you want to measure. The only thing Republicans are good for is funneling public money, your tax dollars, into the coffers of corporate fucking interests. That's all. That is all Republicans want to do. Bernie Sanders turned you into a Republican. The fucking candidate that doesn't take corporate money turns you into a Republican. The most honest politician in America. I can promise you, go look at the interview he did with Joe Rogan. If you actually sit and listen to what he says, you'll agree with Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders is fucking right. The comments under the Joe Rogan interview is every single fucking person saying, wow, I've been lied to about this guy. I'm for him. It is a complete about face because Bernie Sanders is real. Dude, the only thing the Democrats are good at is keeping the plantation nice and filled. That sentence doesn't mean anything. You've heard Candace Owens say some fucking bullshit. It's a bumper sticker slogan that has no goddamn substance to it. What does keeping them on the plantation mean? Call in and tell me, or hop in the Discord. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Can you articulate an actual point? And can you articulate something that fucking you didn't hear off of a right-wing fucking commentator? Why do right-wingers always want to come in here and say the same goddamn shit? Ben Shapiro, Tommy Lahren, fucking Steven Crowder, Caitlin, all those stupid fucks. You say the same goddamn shit. They were the party of the KKK. No, they weren't. The Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats were the party of the KKK. The Southern Democrats, like my governor, Kay Ivey, used to be a Democrat. She left after the civil rights movement, joined the Republicans, just like Strom Thurmond, the avowed racist until the day he fucking died, left the Democratic Party, joined the Republicans. Whereas Robert Byrd, who was actually a member of the Klan, denounced them, fought against the Klan for the rest of his life, remained a Democrat. Right-wingers are literally the dumbest goddamn fucks walking the planet. So if the Democrats are the party of the KKK, then you're not gonna fucking care if we remove the bust of fucking, what's his name? God, I'm drawing a blank right now. The bust of, it's in the Tennessee State Capitol. Ah, Jesus. Nathan Bedford Forrest, the actual founder of the Ku Klux Klan. A bust of him is in the Tennessee State Capitol. Republicans won't take it out. They keep blocking to take it out. How are the Democrats the party of the KKK then? General Robert E. Lee, the statue that's in Charlottesville, that fucking caused a Nazi rally in 2017. And I dare you to dispute me. That was a literal Nazi rally. It was organized by Nazis, one of which is from one of my hometowns. I claim a few different. Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't give a shit. That policy was racist and he supported it, and that was a Republican policy. You just heard Lee Atwater. Forced busing. They owned it. They said it's our policy, it hurts black people. Joe Biden signed on to it. So that just proves fucking Republicans suck. And that's one of the reasons why I fucking fought to make sure Joe Biden wasn't the goddamn candidate. Yeah, we're not Joe Biden fans up in here. We just see the fascist-ass Republican Party that doesn't care about liberty or freedom or anything, that wants to suck fucking cock and install a dictator, and we're fucking tired of it. We're not idiots. God damn, right-wingers are morons. I had a dude arguing with me on a post today about Israel, and he kept wanting me to watch this video. I went and looked up who the dude was. He kept saying it's an Arab from Israel that'll debunk everything. It was a guy, fucking part of the IDF. He was a Christian. He was a Christian in Israel. Join the IDF. Why would I listen to a dude from the IDF about why he's not a fucking war criminal? Like the criminal's gonna actually admit it? Fuck, right-wingers are morons. Oh boy, you know what? I think we're going to be talking about a right-wing moron right now. Mitch McConnell. This morning. Now, for those of you who don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene compared getting a vaccine to the Holocaust of having to wear a fucking yellow star. Because, you know, the Democrats are the racists here. Meanwhile, we've got like an actual fucking Nazi on the floor of the House. Mitch McConnell gives a speech about anti-Semitism in this country. Notice who he leaves out.
The despicable age-old specter of anti-Semitism continues to rear its head even here in our country. Last week, authorities from New York to Los Angeles were investigating assaults on Jewish...
Bernie can't push somebody right. It is impossible for Bernie to push somebody right. Propaganda about Bernie, fear-mongering about Bernie pushes people right, because this fucking dude doesn't know how to evaluate sources.
According to press reports...
I don't understand what... Make a fucking argument. Who are you for? Who should I have voted for? I didn't have any options. Was I supposed to vote for the child rapist whose own defense secretary called a threat to the Constitution? You keep telling me that Joe Biden's racist and all that, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, Trump's own defense secretary, General James Mattis, denounced President Trump, described him as a threat to the Constitution. Now, why should I, as a rational human being, allow a man whose own defense secretary called a threat to the Constitution stay in power? I can't with good conscience, because I love this country, because I love freedom, because I'm not a dumb fuck. There is absolutely no fucking evidence that Joe Biden is a pedophile. There is a mountain of evidence that Trump is. Now, if Joe Biden was friends with Epstein and fucked some kids, fuck Joe Biden. But there is no evidence of that. There is with Trump. So I don't know what the fuck point you're going to make. Make a positive argument for some other side. Should I have voted Libertarian? Should I have voted... There was no fucking Green candidate. Who should I have voted for? Should I have voted for Republican? Should I have sat it out? What should I have done? Please tell me. Totally liberalizing you. There is no evidence that Joe Biden has ever been linked to Jeffrey Epstein. We have Trump on camera saying that he and Jeffrey Epstein both like young fucking girls. I don't get it. What do you mean what he's actually doing? Well, guess what? If I find out what he's actually doing, I'll fucking speak out against it, just like I've spoke out against everything else I've not liked about Joe Biden. However, what you were accusing Joe Biden of, we know for a fact Trump has done and done worse. So I don't know what the argument is. Was I supposed to vote for a Republican? Was I supposed to vote for Trump? Was I supposed to vote Libertarian, who had no fucking chance? Well, they didn't even garner like their normal 2 or 3% this time. I think they got like abysmal numbers. Who was I supposed to vote for? What was your take on the 2020 election, sir? Or ma'am, I'm sorry to assume your gender. Or they. We don't discriminate around here. I just call everybody dumb fucks. Ha ha ha. No, tell me, please, what was I supposed to do? You're sitting here, look, this was General James Mattis. He was the Defense Secretary of the United States, saying Trump was a threat to the Constitution. So, I don't know. What was I supposed to do? Let the guy whose own Defense Secretary called a threat to the Constitution get reelected and end democracy. My racist, non-binary friendly stream. Oh, fuck. It's always wild getting called racist by the party that's like, what, 95, 96% white? How are we No, we're the racists because we've kept the black people on the plantation. That's what we have mind-fucked them and made sure that they vote with us as a bloc. Not because it's in their best interest. But because, like, we've brainwashed them with our Marxism and how fucking right-wingers are stupid.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Oh, Jesus. I fucking love arguing with people. As I pointed out earlier on in the show, I just read the news until somebody comes along to argue with me. You guys need to help me get bigger so more people try to troll me like this. And for the love of God, I wish more people would call or get in Discord. Right-wingers are scared to death. Just like I almost had the one dude come on, but then he wouldn't agree to come on live. No, we had to do it recorded. And then I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to prove you don't know what you're talking about. He's like, nope, not doing it now. No, you gotta respect me. Ooh. And that was the thing. When we watched the show, he's like, the first thing he said, you better not be offended. He was offended by every fucking thing I said. Blocked me on 2 different fucking profiles. No one called you racist, dude. At least not that I know of. I haven't paid attention to like every fucking chat, but I don't think anybody called you racist. Who's redesigning race? What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, when you're like throwing it out in the context of trying to diffuse the power, like the reason why the Black Lives Matter movement sprung up was because this country doesn't treat black people like their lives matter. That's why we have fucking statues to their oppressors every fucking where. No. Like, you're leaving out context. And that's one of the things. Right-wingers are so goddamn stupid. They're like, oh, you don't agree with all lives matter. You're racist. I caught you my little rhetorical trap. No, you didn't. You look fucking ignorant. As many people pointed out, that's like going to a fucking AIDS walk and screaming about, like, what about cancer? All fucking diseases matter. You look like an asshole. And it looks like you're trying to devalue the cause. That's the exact point. Because you're not saying it as a good faith gesture. You're saying it to devalue other people and their movement. Literally. I know you know exactly what you're doing. Being dumb fucks. No one's saying... I just pointed out to you, man. In this country, we don't treat black people like their lives matter. We have statues to their oppressors up everywhere. I can show you statistic after statistic after statistic that proves that your life is harder just because of your skin color or the way your fucking name is spelled. Like, we've got a mountain of data. You have to, like, literally put your fucking fingers in your ears and go la 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 to not understand what's going on. But that is literally what right-wingers want to do. Put their fingers in their ears and ignore facts. That's why, like, oh, we've got to ban critical race theory. Idiots. No, you don't. You do not look at every American life like, unless you are advocating policies for justice reform, then you do not treat every life like it matters. Because our current justice system disproportionately affects black people. Do you understand? So if you are fighting against criminal justice reform, you're on the side of the entrenched white supremacy. Now, I'm not calling you a racist. I'm just saying that you're on the side of entrenched white supremacy. Nobody's talking about a color of the skin. God damn it. It's you people are the ones that want to focus on skin color. It's absurd. And once again, like, the first thing you came in here, I wasn't even talking about race. Was I? Did he come in during the George Floyd thing? I don't think he did. What was the first thing I was talking? Now, we were on to Trump, weren't we? Maybe he came in while we were listening to Floyd's brothers. Yes! I just played you, Lee Atwater. This motherfucker literally says Republicans play to race to win. Literally. Listen to what he said again.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist.
Or a psychologist, which he's not.
Which I'm not. Is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words,
how abstract can we make it that we're being racist?
You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts you. It backfires. So you say stuff like...
We're not talking about... Look, see, this is called a straw man argument. Do you understand that? You're straw manning. There's no law that says that you like forcing people to do... It's not about laws. Take fucking Pete Buttigieg took some fucking heat for saying roads are racist, but he's right. Eminent domain was used more against black people in black neighborhoods in order to put in the interstate highway system. And by doing that, they also created a segregated boundary, which put black people on one side of the interstate and white people on the other side of the interstate. This happened in cities all over the fucking country. Redlining is a banking policy that was incredibly racist, supported by the federal government. Shit, people my great-grandfather's age, they were getting fucking land given to them by the federal government while black people were still in chains. And generational wealth is one of the key indicators of how you're going to do today. I know right-wingers love saying, well, I never owned slaves. It doesn't matter. Generational wealth is literally the number one factor. Number one factor in what your life is going to be like today. So my great-grandparents are getting land handed to them if they wanted to go out and settle the West while black people were still in chains, and that still has an effect that resonates to this day. See that you're dumb. I'm going to have them ban you if you keep doing that shit. Like I pointed out, you're making a straw man argument. I just explained to you different ways that racism manifests itself within our system. Not that there's a law that says, like, if you're a black person, you can't do this. That's not the way it works anymore. Just like Lee Atwater said, we can't make laws against black people the way we used to. We have to be abstract about it so that it hurts black people and that we can dog whistle about it. That's literally what he's saying. I'm not wrong. Once again, red herring, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, well, the first slave, blah, blah, blah. Don't fucking care. That doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with the policies that we're talking about that are baked into the system. Right-wingers are literally the dumbest fucks walking the planet. I wish you people could feel embarrassment. Really. And I hate to tell you, but you're ruining your party. You are not going to be able to win an election going forward. You are hemorrhaging support right now. If you're a Republican, fucking, I hope you're a libertarian. Fuck the Republican Party, dude. If you're going to be a right-winger, at least fucking vote libertarian. Don't vote for the goddamn madman, child rapist. Fuck. Coming from the person who insisted on not going back to history. Exactly. Jesus. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. He's not arguing in good faith. I don't care because I just like arguing. Basically, he gets me wound up and then I rant about shit, and I'm really good at ranting. So I encourage the trolls to come to the chat. Unless they're being just overly abusive, like, let them fucking stay. I'll ignore them if I want to go talk about the fucking news, but I'll rant if I want to rant. And honest to God, I really want to rant. I'd really like it if you called in and talked to me, but you really wouldn't be able to hold your own. But now anybody in the chat will tell you, I'm going to let you talk. I'm not going to cut you off like a right-winger would. Anytime I'm on a right-winger show, they cut me off. They can't let me speak more than a few seconds. That is a very good point, Merkin. Like, we're going to quit responding to you just because you're not actually talking back to us. You're not responding to any of the points we make. You just go on to the next fucking red herring. Create the next dumb straw man. And that's how you know I'm genuine. I'm the real deal, guys. Because I will let people come on here and talk. Completely open, live. Make me look stupid. I dare you. Right-wingers believe in hierarchy. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in having a rational discussion with us. So because they believe in this hierarchy, and because they believe they're at the top of the hierarchy, they have to do everything they can to justify it. And some people like fucking, what was his name? Hold on. Darth Totes. He doesn't seem like he's like completely, he's not fucking, how do I want to put this? None of his words have been misspelled. He actually knows a little history. He's smarter than the average Republican. More than likely, he's just trolling us. He's just wanting to come in here and be inflammatory. The cool thing is like, I want people to come in here and be inflammatory. Oh, and like people like, dude, calm down. It triggered you. No, like, I want you to come in here and say stupid shit so I can rant. It's literally my brand. Where'd he go? Darth Totes. I sure wish he'd call me. 917-830-4359. The phone lines are open, or you can hop in the Discord. By the way, guys, birthday coming up on Thursday. Justin's freaking birthday bash. Echoplex Media is going to be hosting, but if you guys could line up some right-wingers for me to argue with, shit. I am sure producer Dave will have them on in a heartbeat. Find me some right-wingers. Bring them to me. All right, this was Mitch McConnell earlier this morning on the floor of the Senate giving a speech about anti-Semitism.
Even here in our country. Last week, authorities from New York to Los Angeles were investigating assaults on Jewish
people. And I'm totally not high enough for this shit.
Press reports in New York City, one Jewish man was kicked, punched, and sprayed with...
Hold on. Content warning, fuckers. Not because, like, it's actually graphic content, but just because Mitch McConnell is ugly and, you know, a really shit person.
By 5 or 6 men yelling...
What up, Lisa?
Thanks.
Pleasure to have you.
Happened, by the way, right in Times Square. A synagogue in Arizona was vandalized. So was another in Illinois. A Jewish family visiting South Florida had a car pull up next to them and multiple occupants began screaming, "Free Palestine, die Jew." That's what he got.
I don't believe that. No, I believe they might have said "Free Palestine."
The head of the anti-
Oh, thank you. I love you, Lisa.
League says, quote, "We're tracking acts of harassment, vandalism, and violence, as well as a torrent of online abuse. It's happening."
I love your name, too. Lisa says, what?
This garbage didn't begin a few weeks ago. It isn't a response to geopolitics. This hatred long predates the recent fighting between Israel and Hamas, and it hasn't gone anywhere since.
Well, yeah, it was stoked by your party.
This spring, in the shadow of this Capitol building, a U.S. Capitol police officer was killed in broad daylight by an unbalanced follower of the Nation of Islam, the extremist group led by anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. This trash should be the easiest thing in the world for every person in a leadership position to call out.
Notice how he, in a leadership position, is not acknowledged.
The controversial issue on the far left.
The person in his party.
Condemnations do not seem to be flowing quite as easily and unequivocally as they should. Yesterday, a Democratic congressman from...
The condemnation is not flowing as equally and unequivocally as it should, he says, as he completely ignores Marjorie Taylor Greene comparing vaccines to the Holocaust.
Minnesota tweeted this, quote, "I'll say the quiet part."
Or mass to the Holocaust. I don't even remember what she fucking said.
To start condemning anti-Semitism and violent attacks on Jewish people with the same intention and vigor demonstrated in other areas of activism. The silence has been deafening. End quote. I couldn't say it better myself, Mr. President. So Senator Cotton and I are introducing new legislation to fight anti-Semitism. Our bill will support state and local...
I don't think he got to it in this clip, but he actually goes on to attack Bernie Sanders, by the way.
Who are attacking Jewish Americans face the full force of our justice system.
Honest to God, after he did this, let's go find the clip. I've got to show it. Seriously, condemned attacks on Jewish Americans, turns around, attacks Bernie Sanders.
The world is relieved that Hamas...
By the way, Bernie Sanders is Jewish.
And for the moment...
Bernie Sanders has family in Israel. Bernie Sanders lost family in the Holocaust. Waspy-ass Mitch McConnell, after talking about attacks on Jewish Americans...
Fighting has stopped. Israel's response to Hamas terrorism was entirely justified. It was targeted.
I'm certainly not high enough for this shit.
And extraordinarily precise. So it was disappointing to see disproportionate blame heaped upon Israel, the victim, and disproportionate pressure put on Israel's democratic coalition government.
Hold on. Oh, I don't mean to keep stopping this here. I've got to correct him on that one. How did he say that just now?
Disproportionate blame heaped upon
disproportionate blame.
The victim. And disproportionate pressure put on Israel's democratic coalition government to spearhead the ceasefire with the aggressors. Israel's actions appeared...
No. He said it was disproportionate towards Israel. I wonder why it might be disproportionate towards Israel. Total deaths from 2008 until 2020. 5,590 Palestinians killed by Israelis. 251 killed by Palestinians. I don't want to diminish the 251 people killed on the Israeli side, but to not acknowledge the 5,590 people killed by Israelis is to diminish them. It is impossible to get as high as McConnell's high ground. You're right, warlord.
To help restore some measure of deterrence and damage Hamas' ability to wage terror. But we have every reason to expect the terrorist commanders will seek to rebuild their arsenal with assistance from their sponsors.
And also, like, the dude I was arguing with about this earlier, he said something about, like, Palestinians attacking Israelis with stones. I said, that's a weird way to describe kids throwing rocks at tanks. Because that's what that was. Kids throwing rocks at tanks. He said Palestinians attacked Israelis with stones. I said that was kids throwing rocks at tanks.
The Biden administration must not pursue Iran policies that make this process even easier. We should not lift terrorism and missile sanctions just to leap back into discussions over the flawed Obama-era nuclear deal. Already, this administration removed terrorism sanctions on Iran's Houthi proxies in Yemen, hoping to encourage negotiations. Instead, the Houthis have escalated their offensive, rejected diplomacy, and actually fired into Saudi Arabia.
I don't know, maybe I was wrong about him actually attacking Bernie Sanders. Maybe that was just an inflammatory title by The Hill.
Now, I am encouraged that the president has committed to refilling Israel's Iron Dome stockpiles. I hope his budget
I'm not.
coming this Friday.
Because this is where he's going to call out Bernie Sanders. Bernie's proposal that looks like it's going to fail, unfortunately. To not give any more goddamn money to Israel.
Assistance to Israel.
And that's it. Like, didn't we hear when we were doing the fucking stimulus and shit? Weren't Republicans losing their mind about foreign aid that wasn't actually in the fucking bill? And like shit, they don't give a shit. Like, send fucking $4 billion to Israel every year. God.
Reflect the fact that America's interests are not served by cutting our own defense budget. Sadly, here in Congress, more and more Democrats are falling under the anti-Israel influence of the farthest left fringe. From the junior senator for Vermont, we have a resolution to block a routine sale of precision-guided munitions that would make it harder for Israel to avoid civilian casualties.
Wow.
From a congresswoman from New York.
Wow. What? So he's accusing Bernie Sanders of wanting to kill more Palestinians. But yet he's whoa. Yeah, I'm sad no one calls in to call me a dumb fuck.
The accusation that Israel is an apartheid state.
It is.
Historically, support for Israel has been bipartisan. During the last major flare-up with Hamas back in 2014.
Yes, AIPAC spends a lot of money in this country. Yes.
At Israel, the Senate passed a resolution reaffirming our support for Israel and making clear Hamas' responsibility for the violence, and we did it by unanimous consent. Back in 2019, after another rocket attack, the Democratic leader insisted, quote, no government can allow its civilians to be subject to rocket attack. He said he stood, quote, shoulder to shoulder with the people of Israel and doing what they must do to defend their homeland. That was true in 2019. Well, this month's attacks involved not hundreds, but literally thousands of rockets. And yet, instead of
this month, the attacks
Israel, 29
involved 200
Israel's coalition government
60-something, 70-something people dying on the Palestinian side and in the teens.
The U.S. helping
Israeli.
our ally means, quote, supplying weapons to kill children. Their base is energized. An open letter from hundreds of former Democratic Party and campaign staffers have urged President Biden to be harder on Israel.
Yes, be harder on them. They are committing human rights violations. They are committing war crimes. I'm sorry I took the detour about Bernie Sanders there. I just felt like, to point out that he was talking about attacks on Jewish Americans. Did not call out Marjorie Taylor Greene. He was asked about that later in the day. Just like he was saying before, should you do more?
Well, she doesn't serve in the Senate, but this is one of a frequent outbursts that are absolutely outrageous and reprehensible. But any punishment, I assume, would have to be administered by the House.
Would you recommend anything? But now he was just talking about all leaders need to condemn anti-Semitism. You are like the fucking de facto leader of the Republican Party at this moment. You are the highest ranking elected Republican in the country, sir.
Yeah.
Are there any changes that can be made to the House's January 6th commission bill that would in your support, or are you opposed to the concept?
Yeah, let's review where we are. Our Democratic friends have all voted to impeach the president already based on what happened January the 6th.
Oh,
and they actually all voted to impeach him
twice
earlier. So I think it's pretty clear they have a formed opinion about.
I think it's pretty clear he's a fucking criminal. God.
President Trump expressing
more rhetorical games.
For impeachment, not once, but twice. With regard to future security, Senator Blunt,
he should have been impeached more than that,
and Senator Portman are involved in bipartisan work through the regular order in 2 Senate committees to come up with a report on how to prevent this from happening again. With regard to those who
prevent it from happening again, I want to know who the fuck in the Republican Party and the executive branch were involved. That's what I want to know. That's what we need a commission for. Now, Keith Olbermann, I didn't actually listen to his little piece, but I saw his headline, and he said if they don't want a bipartisan commission, don't give them one. Just move to a special counsel, a special prosecutor. Yeah, do it. Call a special prosecutor. They fucking Ken-starred Bill Clinton about getting a blowjob. Call a special prosecutor. All right, how about a little sanity tonight? Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Really pass major legislation, immigration reform, voting rights, etc., we need to abolish the filibuster.
Because you just heard what Mitch McConnell said. They are not signing on to anything. And that's their whole plan. You heard them say bipartisanship, bipartisanship, bipartisanship. And that was all so they could say no to everything and then accuse the Democrats of not being bipartisan. That's all that was.
Now, the reason the filibuster is a relic of Jim Crow is because this absence, this use of the filibuster in this loophole kind of went completely unnoticed. No one really did it until people started to challenge Jim Crow laws on the federal level. And from there, the filibuster and this loophole became the favored ideal of segregationists, or rather the favored tool of segregationists.
Oh, fuck, Tones. Jesus Christ, the story. What? I'm sorry, AOC. I really wanted to hear what you have to say about the film. Holy shit. All right, let's read this. Three former and current Harris County deputy constables, this is in Texas, alleged they were being sexually exploited, molested, and harassed by their superiors while assigned to a human trafficking task force. How in the fuck was this not a bigger story? Lawsuit filed on Monday. The female officers claim they were rookie deputies when they were handpicked for undercover operations, molested and traumatized by their intoxicated male commanding officers for their own sexual gratification. And this is a lawsuit. Where are the criminal charges? Where are the criminal... And when the deputies reported the abuse to supervisors, the lawsuit alleges they were ridiculed, retaliated against, and reassigned to less prestigious... Of course they were! Because fucking cops cover for each other. Like a dude arguing with me today said, oh, so you think every cop in the country is corrupt and you think that doesn't sound crazy? I said, no, it doesn't sound crazy because they literally have a term for covering for each other. It's called the Blue Code. If it's that prevalent that there's a term for it, and I kept looking over at this Patriot Party news because I was hoping they would throw up the phone number, and like, fuck, they're off now. Assholes. Right wingers. He had a guest on and shit. I've been sitting here going, because we came on at the same time. He had a guest on and did an hour and a half. What the fuck? Pussy. Patriot Pussy News is what it is. Jacqueline Alotto, a human trafficking advocate and the fourth plaintiff in the case, says she reported the alleged abuse to and was subsequently transferred out of the human trafficking task force. Ooh, somebody's in here throwing my real name around. You're not like throwing out a revelation, because when I do the freaking news that you can check out every morning, I actually introduce myself as Justin Mullins because it's a straight news report. I'm being serious. So I put on my news hat and I give you the actual news. Freak! In. The Freak Daddy, if you will. I shouldn't be calling myself the freak daddy in the middle of this story about human trafficking and shit. But thanks for joining in with us, Patty Cakes. It is a pleasure to have you. The internal investigation has been conducted, and his office's administrative disciplinary committee found no violations of law or policy. So that's why we did not have any criminal charges. Because it was probably a bullshit grand jury they convened. Or it was an internal investigation. They didn't even present evidence to a grand jury. Probably wasn't even a prosecutor involved. Yeah, internal investigation had been conducted in his office's administrative disciplinary committee. What you're what? You're telling me if you stay, it won't be a pleasure? Oh, honey. Have I got to give the speech again? It's going to be like the third or fourth time tonight. I just read the news until people come along and give me something to yell about. I'm troll bait. That's exactly what this show is. My phone line is wide open, 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord. Exactly, Tones. You are only trolling yourself. I love it when people try to come after me. And Pooh Boy tried. Holy fuck. That dude thought he was going to get the last word on me, and he did not realize the lengths that I was willing to go to. Because I threatened to get his girlfriend fired from her nursing job. I knew exactly where she worked. Am I in the NRA? Good Lord, no. Is the NRA even still a thing? They are incredibly close to being dissolved by the state of New York. Why? Because right-wingers are morons. Now, we're not anti-gun here on this stream, I'm assuming. I'm personally not anti-gun. I'm anti-dumb fucks having guns. The NRA was an incredibly good idea back when it was a learn to shoot, gun safety, well-regulated militia kind of fucking organization. It's not that anymore. Under this hyper-capitalist system that we are currently suffering under, the NRA became the lobbying arm of the gun manufacturers. What? Oh, Patty Cake is like trying to like play head games with me or something. I don't know. I don't know why that is a thing. Gun laws are very loose. Depends on where you're at. It varies by municipality. If you're in Chicago, your gun laws aren't very loose. If you're in Alabama, where I'm at, your gun law is pretty loose. Well, I don't know what you mean by are. You weren't being specific. By the way, like your list of moderators is way off. The NRA has heavy white nationalist vibes now, and has been like fucking extorting money and fucking fraud and shit. All those vacations those executives have been taking with your membership dues. Their connections to Russia. And they were infiltrated pretty easy. Yeah, they had the redheaded little girl. Little girl, she was a woman, I'm sorry. Yeah, Russian plants. Oh, you know it. I bet Russia was totally using them as a... Oh, think about it. After they couldn't use Trump Tower, after Trump got into politics to launder money, they were probably laundering it through the NRA, because the NRA is a fucking non-profit. that NRA TV that popped up there for a couple of years. I bet that was just a fucking wash for money. All their political activism and shit. It was just to throw a lot of money around and launder some of it. Yep. It's so easy to take advantage of right-wingers. Believe me, I wish that I didn't have ethics. Like, I could never be like a right... Because I'm in the broadcasting business. I know a lot of right-wing broadcasters. They're full of shit. They all will, like, off camera, off air, they're telling me how progressive they are on fucking everything, and how they're just playing the game. They're just getting people riled up and shit. And that's why they won't work with me, because I won't play the game. I won't banter back and forth. I was so close to being on a talk radio station, but the right winger wanted me to be as Alan Combs. I didn't want to be as Alan Combs. I said, you and I can go national and be big time. And this was before Rising got really big. It was probably already going. That was kind of what I saw us as like, you know, like a true left and right equals. But he wanted a whipping boy. And he also didn't realize, like, him being my whipping boy is where the money is. But right-wingers have these fucking gigantic egos. This story is... The human trafficking story out of Texas is definitely one that I want to keep an eye on. We're reading this off of CNN if anybody wants to go follow up. Also, I don't care one bit if you want to hop in the Discord. If you ever have somebody asked last night or this morning if I could shoot him the video of the dude that just got so triggered at the the school board meeting. I do not care one bit to throw you guys links and shit, because I actually keep all that. But if you actually wanted to see all of my resources for every show, sign up $1 on Patreon. And you get all of my links, and you get all kinds of other shit. I've got like a making of the freaking news. I've got like a throwback to the original freaking news from back in like 2006. Patty, what the fuck are you talking about? Why was I looking for an 800 number? What the hell does that even mean? You interest me, Patty. Why don't you give us a call? 917-830-4359. I'd like to talk to you, Patty. I don't know what you mean by being a punk. I don't know what you mean by 800 number. The only phone number that I haven't looked for a phone number on this show. I already had it. There was a right-wing show that was on that I was going to call into. But I found his number earlier this afternoon when I was trolling him. Yes, show this streamer who's boss, please. Warlord, I love you. Like, guys, do this kind of shit. Egg people on. That's the way Creed does when we play video games. If he senses somebody is like just any bit remotely right, he will try to get them on a topic and get me to argue with them. People call it trolling, and I guess it's trolling, but like I go to comment sections and I correct people. Technically, trolling is shitposting to get a rise out of people. I post facts to get a rise out of people, so yes, technically it's trolling. Did I get banned on Facebook? I'm banned on fucking everything all the time. I do not have a Twitter. My real me Facebook is gone. It got nuked forever ago. But let that be a lesson to you. If I see you are a right-winger and you are claiming cancel culture or big tech is out to censor you or some shit, I'm going to come and laugh in your fucking face. You stupid fuck. Nobody has been more banned than me. Did I get banned where I trolled today? I am currently banned, yes. Did you report me, patty cakes? And what I'm banned for is actually really fucking stupid. Let me go find it here. I always tell the truth. Everybody in the chat will tell you. By the way, if we don't get it, I was going to talk about the lab leak thing again tonight. I'm glad you brought up truth. I said something that was completely false last night, and I have to correct myself. I was saving it's on my whiteboard right here in front of me. I was saving it for when we actually got to the lab leak theory, but if I actually, you know, I'm going to cook dinner after this. I'm getting a little hungry. But we might wrap it up. Not now, no, but we might wrap it up before I actually get to that story. But I want to say that last night I made the comment that Lyme disease was created in a lab in Connecticut. And that is a book that was written a few years ago by a Stanford scientist. That was his theory about it, and he thought it needed to be studied. Republicans brought a bill forward to study it, but apparently he's stupid, and Lyme disease has been traced back 4,000 years. So my apologies for saying that with like 100% confidence. I'm like, the U.S. weaponized ticks and created Lyme disease and escaped out of a lab. That didn't happen. But that totally sounds like there's a bunch of shit that actually did happen that the United States government has did that is fucking atrocious. You can totally believe that they tried to bioengineer some fucking ticks and created Lyme disease. Yes, you should take what I say as truth. I mean, I'm going to tell you if I'm not sure about something, if I'm like recalling a fact that I've heard and I might be fuzzy on it. And that happens a lot. Our memories really play tricks on us. The human brain is fascinating as fuck, because like we really don't remember a lot of things, especially me, because I am a fucking stoner. I don't think I'm full of shit anymore, because I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, just shitting my brains out. I have TMI right now, content warning fuckers. I'm probably lactose intolerant and just don't fucking care. And my diet consists of cheese and chocolate milk. I just suffer the consequences, and this morning was particularly bad. Like 20, 25 times. Big boys, too. Like, every single time. I do not know how one person can have that much shit in them. So, probably I'm not full of shit right now just because, like, all fucking day. I am indeed Southern. I'm coming to you from the great state of Roll Tide. It is odd that you called me Southern, so you must not be from the South. Southern people usually think that I'm not from the South. But yes, I do have a slight draw. I always tell, because I do voiceover work. And like, and now, like, I got a gig doing voiceover work that I didn't think I was going to get because of my accent. Because it was like a worldwide channel. And I got it, and I was fucking surprised. And then you bring up my accent. Southern bull. Oh, Southern bullshit. I thought you were calling me like a Southern bull, like I was like I'm bringing me over to breed your wife or something. Like I'm a bull. Are you going to call in, Patty Cakes? 917-830-4359. I just told you I'm in Alabama, goddammit. Like the South. Because like I really did. I'm from the not so South. I'm from a state that fought in the Union. I'm a Flyer? No, I don't really like hockey. The Flyers are hockey, right? I don't really like sports, to be honest with you. I watch some UFC. I watch some WWE mainly. I used to be in the NASCAR. You wouldn't expect it, but I've been to like 7 fucking NASCAR races. I've been to Talladega, goddammit, which is, I camped out at the campgrounds at Talladega. That is redneck Mardi Gras. And I enjoyed every second of it. And I acted like a dumb redneck the entire time. What have I lied about, Patty? I always, like, please call me out. If I said something that was wrong, call me on it. We'll look it up. I 100% try to be honest with my audience if I'm going to sit here and do this. And also, like, fucking right-wingers just go buy a microphone and then get on and say the same fucking shit every other fucking right-winger says. No, I specifically waited until this moment in time in my life where I felt like I was good enough to launch this show. Where I felt like I could sit here and speak intelligently on topics. Okay, if you think I'm not in Alabama. I've literally said it on the show multiple times. Also, like, there's a cop here in my city convicted of murder that's still receiving my tax dollars. And I've been pretty pissed about it. Why do you guys always try to bring up my audience? Here's the cool thing. I've been doing this about a year. Now, technically, my 1-year anniversary is 420. But the show originally, it started as a Facebook show. I wasn't on all the other platforms. And just a couple weeks after I launched the show, I got banned on Facebook. And then I took like a month off, maybe a few weeks longer. And then I came back and started doing the show again. It was on YouTube, Twitch, and everything. So I've only been doing this like a year, started completely from scratch. I mean, my YouTube following was okay because I've got, my movies and shit on YouTube. I live in a box, huh? Actually, a decent apartment, to be honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I haven't moved from Alabama, is because, like, I have a really fucking nice apartment. It would, honest to God, be like $2,000 anywhere else in the country. So I'm gonna enjoy it. A year is not very long doing this. So I was expecting that at this time, a year into it, I would be doing a show to 2 or 3 people. And I was pretty much doing a show to 2 or 3 people from the get-go, so. You keep calling me names and everything, but you make claims and you don't provide supporting evidence. So why should anyone take you seriously? If you're gonna call me a dumbass, please explain why I'm a dumbass. I'd love to know. Once again, I dare people to call in and make me look stupid. Hi, I'm Justin Freakin. I like to argue with dumb fucks. Are you a dumb fuck? Give me a call. What did I prove myself a dumbass about? You've got to specify. It's like you're starting to bore me. You got to give me something to work with. Yeah, Patty, call into the show. Well, yeah, the Earth's round. Goddamn. What kind of stupid question is that? And then here's the cool thing. Since you brought it up, I'll drop some knowledge on you. The Greeks knew that the world was round. They had sundials. They knew that the world was round. The fucking flat earth shit, that's like some Christian shit that came along later. Because the Greeks were smart. Do you think the earth is round, Patty? Oh, is it? Which was the? God, it's been so long since I've read this. There was like a sect of religious people that thought that we were a disc on a turtle's back with a filament. That's what the stars were in. They were hanging in like a filament. This is what I did not think that I would be confronting flat earthers. Well, I don't know that you're a flat earther. Do you think the earth is round, Patty? Hey, Tones is the sheriff in here, so you can't talk to him that way. Just pointing out. Patty gives you some sass like that, Tones. You time him out. I want to argue with you, Patty. You're not giving me anything to work with. I'm going to have to go back to talking about the news. And I was all excited. We were going to do like actual policy. This is one of the things, right-wingers come up with so much bullshit. I spend a lot of my show saying what their line of argument is, why it's wrong, and what the facts actually are. I have tried, at least since Joe Biden has been in office, I've tried to be more towards, actual policy, substance, and we were getting ready to get into that. We were getting AOC, going to talk about the filibuster, we were going to talk about infrastructure. Is this all you got, Patty? Like, because you ain't impressing us. It was a better line than anything you've said. Come on, Patty. What you got? You gonna call in? You gonna Discord with us? All right, so I guess we'll go back to doing the news. Let's talk about pot, shall we? I might be high enough for this one. States collected $2.7 billion in recreational pot taxes in 2020. Recreational, so that means it's only, I'm not exactly sure how many states. It's like a handful. It might be like 10 or more now. I don't know. We're getting ready to look at the map and find out exactly where it's legal everywhere. States have been legalizing it so rapidly, I've actually not been able to keep up. Yes, call the fucking show. I agree with Lisa. What? Lisa, call the show. 10 states have legalized the use of marijuana for recreational purposes. Collected almost the 10 states. There we go. Collected almost $2.7 billion in taxes on pot products last year, as sales surged and more regulatory structures came online. That's another thing. We've had a rash of southern states legalize at least medical, but the infrastructure is not in place yet. A new report from the Marijuana Policy Project, a pro-legalization group, estimates that states have collected a total of $7.9 billion in tax revenue since the first states, Washington and Colorado, began allowing recreational pot sales in 2014. That's a significant number. And the bulk of that time, it's been Washington and Colorado. Tax revenue generated by marijuana sales have showed substantial year-over-year growth in every state that has voted to legalize recreational use. Those sales took off in 2020 when Americans stuck at home purchased more marijuana for use during the lockdown. We all know Integrity Farms did gangbusters during the pandemic. We all picked up some of that pandemic special. California, the nation's most populous state, has become the largest legal marijuana market. Recreational sales began in 2018, but growth lagged because of sustained interest in the gray market of medical marijuana providers, continued serving a large number of customers. Their prescription cards just like one of their dispensaries. California's government collected more than $1 billion in recreational marijuana taxes last year, according to figures from the State Department of Finance. Tax revenues were up 62% over 2019. By the way, I was talking about, I've made a point about infrastructure in this country, that most people would not drive on the bridges if they knew the shape they were in. I have a number for you now. It is 54,000 bridges in this country are considered dilapidated. 54,000 bridges in this country are considered dilapidated. I would think tax revenue from pot would go a long, long way to correcting that. Now, let's pull up the map of who exactly has legalized, who has medical. And amazingly, it's only like 2 states that don't have legalization. Yeah, it's only Nebraska and Idaho. That is not legal in some form now. Mind blown. I can't believe that this is, because this map didn't look like this just a few months ago. Alabama just recently passed it. It is not taking effect yet. I don't think it takes effect until like fucking next year. Reparations is a fantastic idea for money from the revenue collected from marijuana taxes. Also, freeing a bunch of goddamn people is a fantastic idea that have been locked up for pot. Yeah, I know, even though it's the right thing to do, right-wingers are just 100% against it. Lucky for us, fucking baby boomers and right-wingers are dying out, because that's a Venn diagram that's, you know, almost a complete circle. Millennials and Gen Z are actually educated and know history. That's one of the things right-wingers love throwing up, like, oh, it's history, blah, blah, blah. No, fucking, we know history. That's why we want the Confederate monuments to come down. Okay, patty cakes, what is the map wrong about? Like, you've got to take into consideration that some states just passed, like, Alabama is blue on this because it just passed marijuana legalization. I'm talking like 3 or 4 days ago. Well, Louisiana was just like a week ago. That's the reason why you're seeing all these blue states. Like, they just fucking passed it this legislative session. A lot of them, they haven't gone into effect yet. Like I said, Alabama like takes effect like next July or something, I think. But the map is correct. And that's what's cool. If you had told me this 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Honestly, I didn't think it would happen this fast. And I was saying in 2012, because I knew for a fact that the Democrats were going to get demolished, I said that they should have run on legalization. Which state is wrong, Patty? So we can look it up and find out. Which one's wrong? I, honest to God, appreciate you calling out misinformation. Which state, Patty? Which one on? While you're, Virginia passed it last year, and Northrop or whatever the fuck his name is, he moved it up to where it like takes effect in June. I think like just a couple weeks. Misty, are you still in here? I know you've been paying close attention to that. Kentucky is medical. Tennessee is medical. Mississippi. I fucked that up. So you may be right. Revived the medical marijuana proposal. Oh, shit. So it looks like there's a ballot initiative. Well, it looks like she was right about this one. Ruling last week by the Mississippi Supreme Court has left law experts and state leaders in a state of confusion over the future of medical marijuana, which was overwhelming. Oh, so the voters voted on it. The ballot initiative passed. So that's why the state was blue. So it's held up in the courts right now. So the map is correct. And I know Tennessee passed medical. I know Kentucky did. Virginia, and as of Virginia, I thought they decriminalized it, but that may be next year. That may be what I was wrong about. I thought they decriminalized it across the board. Yeah, it's been decriminalized. So green is just recreational. It doesn't actually go into decriminalized. Patty cake. Mississippi, we just read the story. Voters voted on the ballot initiative. It passed. So what state did we get wrong now? Tennessee, Kentucky, I know for sure because like I'm here. Like those are the news sections I'm in. Tennessee and Kentucky are both medical. They've both passed. I know this for a fact. Because once again, you called me so I'm from Kentucky and I went to college in Tennessee. I worked for several news stations in Kentucky. I follow them. That's how I know. I don't give a shit. I follow the news. I seriously sit here and read the news every fucking day. Oh, so it's only 0.9% THC. Tones just said it to you. Patty, you're wrong. God damn. I mean, Mississippi hadn't taken effect yet, but the voters passed it. I don't know if Kentucky hasn't taken effect yet, but I know they passed it. I think it was last year. I don't know what you think you busted me on, Patty. You suck. God damn. Will you fucking admit you're an idiot if I do? I mean, fucking Tones told you. So there's a decriminalization exception. They have not authorized medical cannabis, but lawmakers made unprecedented progress on the issue in 2021. It expanded the state's ineffective CBD law, allowing medical conditions to qualify. That's what Tones was talking about. There's an exception that allows for the high CBD, low THC cannabis oil for seizure patients. So that's why it was blue on the map. Because it's a certain CBD oil for cancer patients. But the map was correct. God damn it. And you wanted to nitpick about something fucking stupid. And what good did that do anyway? What did you accomplish, Patty? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you think you got me? Patty, when you first came in here, I said, if I'm wrong about something, tell me so we will look it up and I will correct myself. You even brought up the thing about truth, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have a note that I was wrong about something last night, and I corrected myself. I don't get what you're talking about. And it wasn't that I was right. I was looking at a map. The map very well could have been wrong. That's why I'm saying, hey, tell us which state so we can look it up. So you're trying to like get pedantic on me or something. Oh well. Looks to be you. Let's talk about Belarus. I learned some more about that story. It is an incredibly interesting story. I've taken it up about a couple times. Not often. I'm usually a top.
And a top aviation group demanding answers. IATA's leader, Willie Walsh.
No, not at all. Nothing is driving me crazy. It is impossible to get under my... No. Do you know what would really get under my skin? I was getting ready to say it was impossible to get under my skin. That is not true. If someone was to call in and make me look stupid on my own show, live, where there's like, I can't delete it, like it exists for all eternity, on 15 platforms, by the way. That would drive me crazy. I honest to God would think about the night somebody owned me on the air for fucking years. It really would drive me crazy. I'm being dead serious. I do wake up thinking, like, you know how some people like remember stupid shit they said 20 fucking years ago, or when they were like, you were in kindergarten, you called the fucking teacher mom, and you keep remembering that shit for the rest of your life. Zoom, Discord, I don't give a shit. You just got to talk with me, debate. It's weird that people want to come in here and fucking type books in the chat and try to take me on when we would all have a better time if you man, woman up, whatever you want to call it. Trans up, because trans people are more resilient and tougher than any fucking cis person. So let's change the phrase to trans up. Trans up and give us a call. Or hop in the Discord, the Zoom, Facebook fucking Messenger. I don't give a shit. I've literally got go to meeting. You name the platform. I've got it handy and ready to go. Because I literally want people to debate with me. Troll bait. That's what we are. So the hijacking out of Belarus. I read Heather Cox Richardson. Heather Richardson Cox. I might have the names backwards. She's a historian. She writes a fantastic column on Facebook. I highly recommend it. He came to prominence during the Trump years, writing about I think it was the impeachment. I think she started writing about it. She's a presidential historian. He was making a joke, Patty. Are you got the Asperger's or something? Because like if you've got something where like you can't take social cues, I totally understand, and I will back up and try to accommodate you. I can't take social cues, but it's just I don't give a fuck. But some people can't take social cues, and it's like actually like a impediment. What? Well, I mean, I was answering. Well, it's my show. I'm kind of in charge. I can have the chat ban you. I love eating ass. I wasn't talking about eating ass burgers. That's a fucking South Park joke, but fucking I eat some ass now. I make jokes about that all the time, but I ain't joking. All right, so the story out of Belarus. Lukashenko, as like the fucking last dictator in Europe. He's been around since like the mid-90s. The motherfucker is losing a grip on power in Belarus. He's made some kind of fucking deal with Putin, but hasn't handed the country over to Putin. He still wants to retain power. And apparently, according to NGOs that are monitoring these things, human rights organizations, the election that was held in Belarus like last August, Lukashenko actually lost, though he said he won. Like it was rigged, and he said he won with 80%. But apparently they have evidence that the opposition actually won. And the reporter that was detained, like a gonzo journalist in Belarus that wasn't living in the country. So this plane was detained. He was coming from Greece. They were flying over Belarus. And Belarus told them that there was a bomb on the plane and had them land. I believe this is from CNN International, or maybe it's CNN Business here.
Spoke with me a short time ago. Have a listen.
We strongly condemn the actions of the government of Belarus in intercepting this flight and forcing it to land. It's clear.
What's a gas hat? I've got a gas mask. Gas hat. Oh shit, I broke it. Oh fuck. I'm sure it just attached. I hope I didn't break it. Oh no, I'm sure it just goes right back. It's like it's a fucking. How did they attach it originally to the mask, right? Yeah, it just goes in there. I broke the gas mask out for 420. All right, anyway, back to this plane in Belarus, which is fucking interesting.
Belarus in intercepting this flight and forcing it to land. It clearly was an extremely dangerous action by the government. It put the crew of the Ryanair aircraft in a very difficult situation. And I think we have to commend.
Now, they detained.
Clearly, they were left.
They detained the journalist, his girlfriend, and one other unidentified passenger. I listened to fucking who the fuck ever has the best reporting. They also, I take into like I would use the Daily Mail more because they have great video and shit in their content, but there you have a lot of ads. And I have no way to be able to block their ads because they're fucking shitty. So, I mean, it's whoever has the best video that gives us the best perspective. But I mean, like, I can tell you the problems with CNN, but like, because I have a bunch of problems with CNN. But they're not the bullshit problems right-wingers have with CNN. Holy shit. Like, I actually have real problems with CNN. I don't think there's some kind of, like, I don't think a commercial entity is like Marxist indoctrination or some bullshit like dumb fuck right-wingers do. Seriously, right-wingers, honest to God, think Joe Biden is a socialist. Joe Biden, bought and paid for by the American credit card industry, is a socialist. Right-wingers are the dumbest goddamn fucks ever to walk the planet. Absolute fucking morons. And hey, it's my birthday on Thursday, so you should totally visit the Freak store and get a Right-Wingers or Morons t-shirt. Patty cakes. You would love to wear a Right-Wingers or Morons t-shirt out, right? You love to troll, it'll piss off all your right-wing friends. Or hey, maybe troll Biden is more along your style, right? Troll Biden. Go get you a troll Biden. That is a real t-shirt. These are not fake ads under me. What am I projecting, Pickle? Pickled fuck. Oh, that's... Love it. I was not talking to you. Turn the fuck off. Hey, Google. Turn off. You damn right. Fuck. Anyway, Pickled Fuck, I love your name. Be sure to subscribe. Or follow, you're on Twitch, I'm sorry. You can subscribe if you want to on Twitch. I'm not asking you to spend money on my channel. Don't spend money on my channel unless you just absolutely fucking love me and want to support me. Give me likes, give me follows, give me shares. Especially share me out with your right-wing friends. I want all the right-wingers. I want all the fucking hate watches, hate follows you can give me. Biden is James Woods. James Woods is not that good of an actor. And Jim Carrey does a decent Biden, but he's still not fucking. He wouldn't convince anybody. Fucking James Woods. Where'd you get your education at, Patty Cake? James Woods High? Yuck, 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 yuck. All right, this Belarus fucking airplane.
Very little choice but to follow the instructions that were given to them. But we have to call this out. This is unacceptable.
Oh, dude! Pickled fuck, man. That's the most metal goddamn thing I've ever heard. I fuck hate in the ass. Dude, write the song I fuck hate in the ass. I want to hear that one. My statements will prove themselves soon. Yours will never. I'm a prankster. I'm gonna come in your chat and tell riddles. Patty, I like you an awful lot. Please stick around. Please be here for my birthday party. My birthday party is in, what, 2 days now? I love my new friends. Please come to my birthday party. On Thursday night, I'm not going to be in control. I'm handing the channel over to Echoplex Media. Producer Dave and the Media Winch are going to play videos for us. We're going to have a grand old time. I'm going to react to it. Like, fucking Echoplex is deep down in the rabbit hole. They play conspiracy theory shit. Satanic Panic. We might go back in time. Watch some old school Geraldo. The fucking door! They stole a door! Producer Dave was just fucking obsessed with the fact that the QAnon fucks at the cat. By the way, I could make so much more money if I just didn't cuss on this broadcast. The amount of money I would be making from YouTube is exponentially more, because every single video I have is restricted. But hey, that means if you want to watch my content, there's no commercials on it. Praise door. But anyway, Producer Dave, Media Winch, they are going to be in the driver's seat. They are going to be producing this show. Dude, you've met Q, that little, half Chinese, half American dude? Like, what's his name? Watson. God, the fucking QAnon documentary on, or QAnon mini-series, docu-series, or whatever the fuck it was, on HBO is, fantastic. Yeah, Jim Watkins. That docu-series is awesome. Oh shit! Darth Totes is gonna jump on the Discord. I'll stick around because honest to God, we were gonna play this video. I was gonna show some cat pictures and we were gonna get off here. I've gotten completely off topic tonight. We didn't get to talk about gain of function research. We didn't get to talk about a lab leak thing. We didn't get to go into infrastructure. That's what I really wanted to talk about tonight. I really wanted to talk about the infrastructure spending, the bill that's getting ready to come up. Because unlike right-wingers, I actually give a shit about policy. I don't fucking... Are you citing the goddamn Project Veritas shit? Project Veritas, the dude that's been to fucking jail for fraud? Who keeps losing fucking court cases? You want to talk about fucking pushing propaganda? We're just watching this story about the fucking Belarusian airplane. I do not understand why these fucks get so triggered about CNN. Not just went to court for fraud, has been convicted of fraud. No, dude, you don't understand. Like, he edits all those videos to make people say shit that they don't actually say. You can go and watch the whole video. When they've been able to be released, when there's been a court case and like the whole video comes out, like the Planned Parenthood thing, or Acorn, when we finally got to see the whole video with the Acorn thing, they were making fun of him. Believe me, I know what propaganda is, because one of the things you guys don't know, I mean, my viewers know this, but new people don't, is I literally work for right-wing organizations making their propaganda for them. I know exactly how propaganda works. That's what I do. I'm a broadcaster. This is all I've ever done in life. I have no other life. Politics and broadcasting is all I do. Sometimes I play video games for fun. Oh my God. That law is going to get struck down. That Florida law is hilarious. Not saying that I don't agree with some of its sentiments. Obviously, I keep getting banned on fucking social media. I have been the news director for 11 radio stations. At a couple different other shows. Altogether, I've been on 14 radio stations. I've written for 4 different newspapers. I have not been on television. I've been on television. But I've not been on television on my own show, but I've worked in television as a production tech. Besides the monopolies, I don't know what you're... Motherfucker, I've been talking about antitrust long before fucking right-wingers always like... God damn... Mother, I was calling to nationalize Facebook like 5 years ago, because that was, if you nationalize Facebook, then the First Amendment applies. But right-wingers are fucking morons. They created tech monopolies through their fucking policies. The corporatist policies of the right are what allowed the tech company in capitalism. I love the way you guys are fucking pissed off about the results of capitalism. You know my real name that I fucking broadcast every fucking where. Like, what the fuck? Literally, all the times I've been in the newspaper, on the radio, literally, that is not a don't tread on me flag. That is a right-wingers are fucking morons flag. Literally the dumbest fucks walking the planet. Hey, Mud. You want to argue with me? I'm glad to have you here. I've had a bunch of trolls come at me tonight, but nobody wants to call in. 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord. It is absolutely the result of capital. What the fuck do you think capitalism is? No, I'm a lefty. Liberals fucking suck. Seriously, Tones, Citizens United, right there. That's right-wing policy. No, I believe in fucking freedom. There is no such thing as an abuse of capitalism. There's just capitalism. I don't know what people describe as an abuse of fucking capitalism. Yeah, exactly. That's just the rules of capitalism. That's the way it works. Capitalism means the people with money make the rules. It's in the fucking words. Capitalism. Fucking be my bud. Not only do I want you to be my bud, I want you to fucking come to my birthday, dude. I love fucking everybody. Just don't get mad if I point out how stupid you are. My birthday bash on Thursday. Please join me, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. I don't drink normally, especially since I've stopped doing stand-up in the last few years. I don't drink near as much. When I was in the club all the time, I was fucking getting a little bit of a problem. But I don't really drink. You know, it's more of a social thing. I'm gonna be drinking on Thursday. As long as, hey, if you're self-aware, then you and I will be best fucking friends. Oh, shit. The Discord. Is he actually going to hop in the Discord? Oh, shit, he's in here.
Dude.
What's up, Darth Totes? Darth Totes, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Is that a problem? Did I fuck it up? I recently...
Now I need to know why. If we're going to go off just the basis of Donald Trump being racist, why would you vote in another racist?
I don't give a shit about Donald Trump being racist. Like,
That's fine. But we can just irrelevant that, all right? But the whole point is why in the world, right? Because we keep saying capitalism, right? And you're like, oh, capitalism's wrong or it's evil. Capitalism is just a state of owning something.
No.
Right? It's just private ownership.
No.
That's all it is.
No.
Yes, it's literally the definition, is owning something, private ownership.
Yeah, private
when you go to
ownership
socialism, that makes it so that's fine.
Yeah.
Because once you do government means of production, now we're going towards socialism or communism.
Socialism is public control, the means of production. That would be like a worker co-op.
Which is fine, but the problem is
which
you can do a worker co-op in capitalism.
Worker co-ops produce the best results, by the way.
If you can produce that here, and when they perform that way versus the original style, right? We'll say co-ops work versus the original style. If they work more,
then
that means that they will inevitably, through capitalism, will work, right? They will beat out the other companies, correct?
Do what?
If you do a co-op, then they have to, and they beat the original owner perspective, right? One guy instead of all the people owning it. If all the people owning it works better, then it will beat it by the capitalist standards, correct?
Then it will beat it by the cap. What do you? I need a precise.
If you have, you can. Okay, let me put it this way. Can you have capital?
Okay, what do you think is producing a good result exactly? Because to me, producing a good result is better worker satisfaction, better worker rate, wages. You and I probably have a different view of that, right?
Well, within reason, it matters what they're doing and when.
I don't know what you mean by within.
Because you can't have a kid. You can't have a kid coming out of high school.
No. The whole purpose of a job. The whole purpose of a job is to provide a living for people.
Yes. No. A job is a job. A career is different. Significantly different.
No. Yes. The only reason I work at anything is to get money, right?
Right.
So yeah,
usually, the purpose, self-gratification as well, right? You know what I mean? You have
people don't do
that
in
your own life. A lot of people do.
If you have money, yeah.
Some people do.
You have the financial closure. Well, I mean, technically, I'm doing it right now because if I wanted to make money, I would have been a lawyer.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Not everyone chases money. Like a doctor, everyone's like,
you're right. I don't chase money. You're right.
And a lot of people don't.
I'm not anti-capitalism. Like to address the comments in the chat right now, I'm not anti-capitalist. First of all.
Okay, which is cool. You know what I mean? And I'm not anti like the whole concept that like we can't help our people, right?
Well, okay, first of all, okay, all you guys.
I'll be honest with you.
Darth Toads. You understand that every economy is a mixed economy, right? There's no such thing
Yeah,
as like
absolutely.
unfettered capital. Okay, cool. We're on the
Yeah,
same page.
absolutely. I wouldn't want unfettered capitalism because then that allows monopolies to go fucking haywire. We have to have
We're on the same
regulated,
page.
some form of regulated capitalism like we have now. But it's not just like we have now. We see that these tech oligarchs are going ham.
Okay, so
And
now
trust me, they don't care about you or me or anyone in this chat.
I've been saying the same thing about all corporations for the past 20 years since I've been an adult. So now why are you just now coming over to my side?
But you can't say Democrat and then say that side because they give corporate
I'm not a
bailouts.
Democrat, sir, first of all.
I know you're a libertarian. You said that.
No, I'm not a libertarian. Libertarians are dumb as fuck. First of all, Robert, do you know who Robert Nozick is?
No.
He's the father
I
of
don't know
modern
key
libertarian
names,
thought.
You know what I mean?
Literally the man who invented modern libertarianism. Robert Nozick.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. It's pretty much anarchy, pretty much, it seems like. As close as it can get.
Okay, but
From what I've
we're in
seen, it's
agreement.
like the
Okay.
lack of almost as much government as possible, it seems like, and let individuals in the market figure it out. Is that libertarianism? Am I saying it right?
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay, so it's the closest one to anarchy than any of them.
Anarchists would disagree with you.
I've
had this argument with anarchists, and they're like, "You are completely misrepresenting my beliefs," and I get their point. Okay, so I'm not going to argue that position right now.
Right. Okay. So the issue that we were seeing, like I said, I understand, and a lot of people do too. They're all thinking that Republicans are just
Idiots?
monsters, and
Yes.
they're not. Don't say idiots. See, that's
they
another thing.
are.
You can't demean, right?
Yeah, I can.
I don't think people who
But
run
they
the Black
are
Lives
idiots,
Matter.
fucker.
You can say whatever you want. But I don't
Everybody
think
on the
that
right
people-
wing, even though I'm right wing, we're all fucking idiots. You gotta think about it. Most of us are fucking rednecks.
No, that's a very
No.
bad-
Fucking
that's
real
an even close to
rednecks.
that.
Do you know where the term redneck comes from?
Redneck.
That's from union workers in the mines. That's fucking.
They have them rednecks, brother.
And you've got Dale and as your avatar, so you know.
But
hell yeah,
Dale, praise Dale, praise hell.
Hey, he's from my neighborhood.
All right, so Toads, what's
That
your point?
driver that he has on his thing. Now, I don't know. We just went on tangent. Okay, so it's just like me. I don't think that the people who run Black Lives Matter is morons. I don't.
Most
I do not think
Republicans
that
do.
they're unintelligent.
Most
I
Republicans
do
would tell
not
you
think
that it's
they're
a Marxist
unintelligent.
plot and that the
It is.
founder owns 4 homes that are $1 million.
And they admitted that.
She's been extorting money from the.
And she admitted to it.
I don't even know
I don't
anything
know what
about
else
it
you
because I
want.
don't give a shit, right?
But that's what I'm trying to say, is when you have a thing like Black Lives Matter and then it's co-opted by a black woman, and then she uses it as a tool in order for her to get 4 houses in these white supremacist neighborhoods, it's kind of destroys your argument.
I doubt that narrative is correct. I've not looked
It
into
is
it.
what it
because I
is.
just
She has bought houses.
I don't know
with the
anything
money.
about it, so I don't really want to argue this point.
It's a
right?
grift, man. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, if you want to talk about grift, I could tell you way bigger grifts than fucking BLM.
Do Republicans grift?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Democrats grift.
Republicans are a grift. Republicans, period, are a
so
grift.
are the Democrats.
No.
And this is what I've been trying to
No,
express to people. There is no difference between these two people.
There are
They pretend that they are.
no, that is
I
the one.
hate
of the,
when people.
that is
Yeah,
one
is
of
that
the
why
dumbest things I've
35
ever.
Republicans signed on their bill? That's how that works, right? That's how that works. They keep passing these bills because they get 1 or 2 or 3 of these Republicans, right? Oh no, it's because they're all in the same party and they all got their monies lined up by the same people.
Okay,
Let's
yes,
stop
we
playing these games.
Darth Oates, we can talk
You know
about
what I mean?
we can talk about corporatism in politics
Right.
and the corrupting influence of money. I'm totally in agreement with you there. However, I can name off a good 10 politicians that don't take corporate money, and they're all Democrats. So, are you telling me that those politicians?
If you say
Ilhan
AOC, I'll
Omar,
giggle.
AOC,
I am
Jamal Bowman,
laughing.
Cory
I am
Bush.
laughing so hard. She took money from fucking PACs. Don't even start with me. And
She
she's
does
taking
not take
money.
corporate
They
money.
all take money. They all.
They
take
do not
money.
take corporate money.
They all take money. AOC.
Okay, yes,
is a
they take money from PACs that do not take corporate donations.
Listen, when AOC first came in, she was a bartender.
Oh,
AOC is fully
well,
in the political party.
First of all,
right,
what's her
right, right?
degrees in? Don't come in.
No,
don't
it's
come
not
in
about
here.
that.
Hey,
No,
shut the
no,
fuck
no.
up.
She
Do
was a
not come
bartender
in here
with
and
normal.
demean her and call her a bartender.
No. She was a bartender. And
Shut the
now
fuck
she's a
up. No, don't
politician.
come in here and demean
She's
her and call her a
politician
bartender.
now. Yes or no?
What's her
Is she a
degrees
politician?
in? You're trying to demean her by. You're trying. I do, because that has more to do with her qualifications than her being a bartender.
Care. She has an economics degree. So if you want to put her in the elite class, we can.
But now, doesn't that sound better than calling her a bartender? Do you not see your framing off the bat?
I don't care.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care about being dishonest.
That doesn't make her less of a politician, does it now? Does that make her, because she was a bartender a few years ago. She is a good politician. And now she's a politician. She is not.
She is a good, but we were going to sit here and watch a good 10 minutes of her talk.
I have a question. What policies has she written that have passed?
I would have to look into it because, like, first of all,
zero, none, nada.
Okay, so
nothing.
The Democrats have only had the ability to be able to actually pass legislation for a couple of months now, right?
Right.
So AOC's only been in Congress since 2018. Was elected in 2018. Been 2019.
Okay.
So for the vast majority of her time in Congress, they were investigating Trump.
Right. Not doing their job.
No. What were they?
Their job is
they passed several. They passed several bills that the Senate did not take up. Mitch McConnell was not going to take anything up. So why would they pass any more bills?
Maybe you should send bills that maybe Mitch McConnell would consider.
Mitch McConnell wasn't going to take up anything, and he is on record saying that he will not work with Democrats.
Right. Why? Because they're like, hey, we're going to
Ecoplex says several hundred bills were passed by the House.
What do they bring to the table? Things that the Republicans would never agreed to, right?
Well, Republicans fucking suck ass.
No,
you even admitted that.
Both Republicans and Democrats, both on the other side.
No. I pointed out politicians that I stand behind.
That's fine.
That I will not let you demean them. That they've got good policy, and they are on the right. Like
AOC and Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
Sold us out to Joe Biden. The end.
How? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
They both endorsed him. It's over.
I don't understand what you're.
Sorry, man. I loved Bernie 4 years ago.
Totes. Hold on.
I'm a different breed.
Totes. Answer the question that I asked you before that you avoided in the chat, please. Okay, you're saying I shouldn't have voted for Joe Biden. What should I have done in 2020?
Well, if you didn't like either one of them, then you don't vote for either one, or you vote for the guy that you wanted.
I voted for the candidate I preferred.
Okay, so you voted for Joe Biden.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so you prefer Joe Biden amongst everyone else, correct?
Yes. Well, I mean, I did not vote for Joe Biden in the primary, no.
Right.
I voted for Joe Biden in the general election.
We let Bernie Sanders get ripped off twice, and then we go ahead and
I didn't let him get ripped off.
Yes, they did.
I didn't let him get ripped off.
And the DNC came out with the letters the first time around, how they screwed him over and went out of their way to screw him over with Hillary. You think they didn't do it again? Really?
Dude, I know the ways they screwed him over.
So then why are we with them?
Because they have the better policy. Because
clearly not.
Oh, yes, but remember when I showed you that the former defense secretary for Donald Trump said he was a threat to the Constitution. So you are faced with Donald Trump's own defense secretary saying the man is a threat to the Constitution. And knowing that, you are going to not cast a vote for the person who can beat Donald Trump.
Bro, they use that Constitution and they're like, you're a threat, and you're a threat.
Dude, this was General Mattis.
I literally don't care what
This was General Mattis
said. Listen, bro.
That's
cool on him.
See, like, he is not arguing with me in good faith. I don't care what General Mattis said. Oh, really? The defense secretary for Donald Trump said he was a threat to the Constitution. And you don't see that as an existential threat to the country. And just like he did, he tried to fucking end democracy. He sent his mob, just like they did in 2000, to stop the recount. Sent a mob to try to stop a constitutionally mandated proceeding. Exactly. Once we've hit the general, it's all over. Like, I've got to pick a horse. I'm behind Joe Biden. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but there are things about him I like. And ultimately, so far he's been pretty good. Now, we're getting ready to have some fights with Joe Biden leading into the summer and the fall. We're getting ready to see the left and the centrist coalition go at it over a few things, but that's perfectly healthy in a democracy. Voting for Joe Biden helped foster a more healthy democracy. Is it perfect? No. It is far better than what it would have been, non-existent, had Trump been elected to another term. And 0 Biden voters stole a door from the Capitol. Seriously, they smeared shit on the walls. Okay, I don't give a shit if Joe doesn't know he's Joe. Once again, I voted to empower Bernie Sanders. I voted to empower AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib, who's been a badass. Fuck yeah. And Katie Porter. I voted to empower that caucus. And after what I've seen from the Republican Party, as the president of the Young Republicans when I was in high school, as somebody who campaigned for George W. Bush, I will tell you 100% that the Republican Party scares the shit out of me. And I will never, ever, ever vote to allow them anywhere near the levers of power again. This cat's face is exactly the face I make anytime I hear from a Republican. Hilarious cat comes to the beach for the first time and obviously despises it. Meet pumpkin. Oh, that looks like my Soxy Poo. A little bobtail. What was wrong with Bush? Jesus, everything. What was wrong with Bush? And then they want to complain to us about big tech. Oh, shit. All the policies of the Bush administration didn't lead to fucking big tech? You guys are just up there. Fucking corporations have been stepping on all of us for fucking years. But now because some fucking corporations are posing as woke, because make no mistake about it, big tech is still very much corporatist. Disney may act like they're inclusive because they are when it comes to representation with characters because they want to make money. Most of the country is progressive. So Disney portrays itself as progressive, but when it comes to tax policy, when it comes to copyright issues, intellectual property, Disney is 100% right-wing as fuck. And that's what I care about. I don't give a shit about your issues with Aunt Jemima or Mr. Potato Head or what you think Disney does or doesn't do. I do not give a shit. I give a shit about the economics. I give a shit about the working people who've been getting the shaft for the last 40 years. I give a shit about the marginalized communities that are oppressed, that are used as fodder by Republicans, just like I showed you the video of Lee Atwater saying they play to the racists. They harm black people just so they can get the racist-ass white people to vote for them. I've explained to you. I do hate Joe Biden. What the fuck? Are you stupid? I mean, yes, you said you were. No! The left is not identity politics. The left is a response to the fact that the right plays identity politics. All you motherfuckers want to talk about is Mr. Potato Head and how you hate gay people and how cultural Marxism is seeping into schools. You've got nothing. I want to talk about fiscal policy. I want to talk about the $4 billion we're sending to Israel. I want to talk about protecting the Constitution. Right-wingers do not believe in the Constitution. They want to suck the cops' cock when they kill people in the streets, even though the Fifth Amendment says cops can't kill people in the streets. That is a gross violation of the Constitution, but fucking Republicans are all for it. They want the cops to step all over them. Please step on Snake. Cool, patty cakes. Do you know how I started the show? Talking about how all presidents should be prosecuted. Literally, how I started the show with a rant about how all presidents, except for Jimmy Carter, are war criminals, but we could probably find something to prosecute Jimmy Carter for. I'm okay with that. Because, like, we're getting ready to throw the book at Trump. Motherfucker is guilty as sin. And if right-wingers want to pop up and say, well, what about Clinton? What about Obama? Fuck, have them. I don't give a shit. Send them to The Hague. I'm for it. How does the left rape the Constitution? Please tell me how I rape the Constitution by fucking people that don't even understand how the Constitution works. You probably think tech companies are violating the First Amendment, even though that's impossible. It's stupid. Not a single fucking right-winger believes in the Constitution. I prove it goddamn daily. Not a one of you's even read it. It's just like Christians with the Bible. If you had read the goddamn thing, you know what you're talking about. Liar, she says. Yeah, or the pages stuck together. Because clearly what producer Dave is saying is that it's masturbatory. That's what you guys do with the Constitution. You masturbate to it. You wrap yourselves in the flags. You're the furthest thing from fucking patriots. You attack the Capitol and steal a goddamn door. Personal liberty is just goddamn right-wingers making an argument against helping poor people on behalf of corporations. That's what you mean by personal liberty. You don't fucking take personal liberty, personal responsibility serious about fucking anything. It was a really nice door. I hope... Do you think... Dave, have you followed up on the door? Has the FBI recovered the door? Is it in evidence somewhere? Or did they get away with the fucking door? And this cat is awesome. Yeah, like this one's like enjoying the beach. This dude is like, oh, I hate it here. You can tell, he's so mean. I put all conservatives into one basket because you all say the same goddamn shit. I mean, seriously. Earlier today, I was arguing with somebody, and I'm like, let me guess, you're a Christian. Yep, they were. Another dude comes at me, you're a Christian. And then the next person's like, you can't guess my religion. I'm like, yeah, I can. You're a QAnonymous. Seriously, I can guess your fucking religion by the way you talk. I can tell the political commentator you watch on YouTube or the articles you read, where you get your sources from, by the way you talk. Right-wingers don't understand that. I'm interested on where you stand at butts hanging out at Pride. I don't personally give a shit. But I like butts. What does that mean, we wrap ourselves in pronouns? Fucking pronouns are just pronouns. I don't get what wrapping yourselves in pronouns means. Seriously, right-wingers do only have one joke. Are you going to tell me what wrapping myself in pronouns means? Just like the guy that came in last night and kept saying the country's in neutral. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? It's an assertion without supporting evidence. Are you coming back at me? Higgled fuck. Also, Toads, I normally wouldn't have cut you off if you're still here. I would have kept going, but like I'm at the end of the show. Like I have been ready to dump people off for like, I usually go about 2 hours. We've been going about 3 hours. Just because like I'm hungry. I usually do dinner. You know what? I haven't rated Jack in a little while. So if you were on the Twitch, is it Wednesday? No, it's not. I was gonna say I was gonna send you over to Milwaukee Wednesday. If you're on Twitch, you guys are heading over to Riverboat Jack If you are not on Twitch, I don't give a shit. Go watch some shit on my other channel. All right, go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We will see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.